What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another NBA Rundown, courtesy of Run Pure Sports and Run Pure Bets. Tyler got us home last night with the Dallas play. Unfortunately, the Denver Nuggets were not able to do the same. And then, hey, the Knicks were a little disappointed too. What happened there, Tyler? That was a little disappointing, huh?
Told you it was a tough matchup for them, spread, but I mean, they looked bad in that second half.
Yeah, I mean they went in with the lead and they got thoroughly outplayed in the second half. So that was a little disappointing. I was a little disappointed that Portland didn't cover, but when you lay 7.5, I mean that outcome happens quite more often than not, and that's why you'll see a lot of times on this show when that line's right around 7.5, but we lean the favorite, we don't take it. For outcomes like last night where Portland felt like they were thoroughly in control of that whole game. Right, the Lakers made one little late run, and that causes them to go ahead and get the cover. But, LeBron's going to be pretty upset, Tyler. It looks like he's in the play-in now. That
Yep.
drops him to 7th, and they lose the tiebreaker there to Portland. How do you think this is all going to turn out?
I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how healthy those guys are when they need to win that game. Or if they drop that first game and then your back's against the wall and you need to win the second one.
Yeah, I mean, when you there's a possibility he's not 100% there for the
I don't
playoffs
think
there.
he is.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, let's jump into today. Let's see what is going on. And we got a 6-game slate. I'm pretty excited about it, and I'm ready to bounce back. And I know you don't need to bounce back because you gave out Dallas, and that was quite the play. Let's start with a game that I think you might have a little interest in. It's the Washington Wizards. They're on a winning streak. I went against them on what was that, Thursday night, Tyler? You guys warned me against it. The chat warned me against it, right? I mean, what was going on there? I felt like it was a good play, but the Wizards once again came through. This team is unstoppable. Then, on the very same night, we faded the Pacers off of a report that everything was going to heck in their locker room, that their coach was very abrasive, wasn't getting along with everyone, and the team was ready to quit on him. Put a little too much stock in that report. This was not a team ready to quit. They come out and they win as 6.5-point dogs. So the Pacers coming off that win. What do you look for tonight? And do you think that maybe there's a potential letdown here off that big win? You know, they saved the coach, they saved face, and now, do you think it's back to business as usual for the Pacers?
I wouldn't say back to business for them, but I mean, they did look good in that last game. I think this is
Really
a
good.
spot where you just ride the Washington train, though. I think you just stay on it. Don't jump off. They're getting Rui Hachimura back today. So that gives them another guy.
Yeah.
They played this matchup just like last week. 154 to 141, Washington was able to pull away. And if Brogdon, Lamb, and Turner will be out for sure. But if the other two guys are also out and Sumner, they don't have anybody to chase Russell Westbrook around. So
Exactly.
I mean, he's just going to be all over the place. So I really like Washington minus the 3 here. This team's still disrespected by the books.
All right, Tyler. I got another exciting piece of news for you on this game. Total 249. Actually, just jumped to 248.5, but still highest total of the year. What do you think? Is it warranted or no?
Give me the over.
And
We had this talk
They-
on Twitter with AP last week.
Yeah.
It was 245, and it was like, oh, do we hit the over? And it finished with 290 points.
And did these teams play recently and ended up in the 290s?
Yeah, 154, 141.
All right. Well, I couldn't be remiss here. So what do you think? I mean, do we hit that? Do we hit both, or are you just leaning there?
I lean the over. I'd rather just take. Well, I feel more comfortable just taking the Washington side.
All right. Feels more comfortable taking the Washington side. I'm with you there. I got burned by Indiana, and if I get burned again, I'll ride with that. On that Wizards game, it was. I didn't really think that they were a better team than Toronto at this point of the year. It was a fatigue fade, and I'll tell you what, I was impressed with that team fighting through. The game went to overtime. I bet against the team 5 and 7 nights in overtime, and they still came through. Very impressive win. I mean, I was so much more impressed by that than I was Indiana's one-game wonder there. Also, Tyler, I have to ask you, our guy Greg Foster is going to be back on the bench. How do you think that works out for the team?
I mean, is Goga still suspended?
He didn't even get suspended. He played.
I thought he got suspended one game or something.
I don't think so. I think he just got fined.
I mean, I don't factor that into
You don't think
anything
it
really.
matters at all?
No.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't either. I just had to bring it up because that's one of the weirdest stories. Have you seen that happen?
Yeah.
Where a
It's not,
player cusses at his own coach and they get separated on the
yeah.
court? When was the last time that happened?
I mean,
I'm trying to think. His own
didn't
coach,
Harden
huh?
yell at his coach not recently, but last year?
But not where they had to be separated.
Yeah, I
All
will
right.
say I got no idea.
If anyone in the chat can help us out here, help us out. When was the last time a player and coach had to be separated on the sideline in the NBA? NFL doesn't count. NFL, this happens all the time. In the NBA, it's quite the spectacle. Let's talk about the Detroit Pistons, who are 20-47, 34-29 against the spread, heading to Philadelphia to take on the Sixers. Tyler, I should have bet this one. I was on it last night. I said there's too many points for a Sixers team that likes to play with their food. You don't want to babysit the Sixers because they're not eating the spaghetti. You know, they're not eating the pizza. They're throwing it all around, and at the very end, they're gonna throw it down the hatch. And that's what happened last night against the Pelicans. They only won by 2. They're not able to cover. Now they're laying 10.5 to Detroit. Does that make sense to you? Detroit's 1.5 points worse. I mean, come on, that doesn't make any sense to me.
I mean, yeah, but this Detroit team, I mean, we know they're in tank mode. I mean, it shows Grant's questionable, Ellington's questionable, Joseph's questionable. So
At least they're in. When we discussed Detroit, Thursday was the last game they played. They had all those guys out, and they ran the little 7-man squad.
Yeah, I mean, we could still see that 7-man squad. I mean, these guys aren't in the game; they're still listed questionable. So, yeah. I mean, if you're going to pin me down to anything in this game, I like the under because I think you see Embiid sit for Philly after playing last night.
That was what I was going to ask. This line being 10.5 tells me that Philly's going to pull someone. Isn't that what the line says to you?
Yep, he'll sit, and then I think it's just the defensive juggernaut.
All right, so let's say we know that he sits, and we know that they're going to pull the rug out on us. Do you still like Philly by 10.5 without Embiid?
I honestly don't like a side in this game.
Okay,
I'd just rather not touch it. Yeah, okay. But if I had to pick something, it'd be the under.
All right. To me, this number's wrong for Philadelphia, but we've talked about this before, and it happened, and we got burned. We said it on the Milwaukee game against the Wizards, wasn't it? And I said the line's wrong. We're going to get someone out, and I thought it was going to be either Giannis or DiVincenzo, and it was Middleton, and they didn't cover. So let's stay away from that game from a side total. From a side perspective. Tyler's got us on the total. He likes the under there. I agree here. Detroit team total under, right? I mean, that's where I think that you're going to get that.
I wouldn't mind that look if you're getting it above 100.
I don't think Detroit goes above 100.
No, that's what I mean. I want that number above 100 to bet it.
Yeah. So I think that's the best way to approach this game. I guess if you're sitting around at around 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, and you see the full squads there and the line's still there, I would play the 10.5, even though they messed around last night. I think even messing around against Detroit, they cover. But I'm too worried that they're going to pull someone here. 10.5 after a +9 against the Pelicans. You're telling me that Detroit's only a 1.5 better? No way. So that's how we're going in this game. Let's talk about a team that disappointed me the other night. The Memphis Grizzlies are 33-33. They head to Tampa to take on the Toronto Raptors, who I'm pretty sure lost their playoff hopes with that loss to the Wizards. You know, I was big on them. One thing I got right on that matchup, though, right? I like the Siakam matchup. He went for like 38, 8 and 6 or something ridiculous. So had that right. What I didn't have right is Washington did not gas down the stretch. Toronto's not able to get it done. What makes us think that they're going to get it done tonight now? I mean, wasn't that just the death knell for their season? Are you going to be back in Toronto at all, especially tonight? No OG, no Kyle Lowry, no Van Fleet. I mean, why is this only 5.5?
Yeah, I mean, these are not two teams, but Memphis has just been a thorn in my ass all season. So really don't want to back them.
All existence as a franchise. I mean, maybe in Vancouver we're betting them right, but this is
this is the perfect game to do the Jimmy Butler ball the paper up, throw it over your shoulder.
Okay, and right. Well, I like Memphis here. I mean, Who am I going to get at guard now for the Raptors? Can you pull up their roster and tell me
Makai
maybe
Flynn.
Malachi Flynn out of San Diego State
Yep.
that was tutored by Steve Fisher? All right, he's a rookie. He's not that good on defense. He can score. And then who's going to be in the backcourt with him? Even Yuta Watanabe is
Yeah, I say
doubtful.
Utah's on there. Paul Watson's on there. I'm not even
Yeah,
sure who's going to be next to him in the backcourt. That's
give, give
that's just a botched roster right now.
well, they're done. I mean that loss, like that's the death knell in their season. And hey, if I'm the Raptors, right? I mean, they're not even where they live, so it doesn't surprise me at all. Give me Memphis here. And laying 5.5 on the road, I know is rough, but give me Memphis. Tyler. Any thoughts on this total of 227?
I'm slightly into the over because I mean Memphis is going to push the pace. Toronto's not going to play very much defense. But I mean, they don't have many scorers on the floor though, so it's going to be all Siakam really.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, pretty much with no Anunoby too. Yeah, it's going to be all Siakam. Would you look at some Siakam props maybe?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that look, and that's going to be Trent in the backcourt next to him.
Oh well, that's not that bad. That's really not that bad actually. So I guess my concern then would be the backup minutes.
Yeah, the backup minutes. That's where you get guys like Rodney Hood, Gillespie. Well, Gillespie's a power forward. Harris. So yeah, I mean,
Rodney Hood.
not the best.
Yeah. There was a guy in a Sports Illustrated podcast. He used to love Rodney Hood. I can't remember his name. Oh, Andrew Sharp. That used to always make me laugh. The guy loved Rodney Hood. All right, let's go to the next game. Let's talk about more teams that disappointed me recently. The Brooklyn Nets couldn't get it done for me against Dallas the other night. That was quite disappointing. I was on them against Milwaukee. That was quite disappointing. Brooklyn's been disappointing me, Tyler. And then the Denver Nuggets. Okay, I can't be hard on the Nuggets. They've cashed a lot for me over this run. They were ahead by one last night, and they couldn't get the cover against the Jazz. Tyler, I was out to dinner. Did you see what happened in that game? Because of course, all they had was the ESPN Lakers game on the TV where I was eating.
I was watching that Lakers game just because of
Yeah,
the implications it had, but I
yeah.
mean, it just seemed like Denver blew that game down the stretch.
Yeah, it was just terrible. I was just wondering, it was fatigue, the guard play, what was going on.
I
But
know they had a couple turnovers that turned into like a quick 7 points that opened
yeah.
the game up, so that could have had something to do with it too.
All right. So I don't know, man. We talked about it yesterday with this Denver team. We all like them a lot, but they are really thin at guard right now. What do we do? What do we do with this game? Do we think the Nuggets continue to fall apart? I'm getting some points at home with Denver.
Yeah, I mean, it's like one of those spots where it's like we thought the buy low spot was on Brooklyn last game.
Yeah,
Well, now they're on a 4 game losing streak and they need a win. They fall into the 3 seed. So
but
it's like,
do they care about 3 seed?
I mean, the 3 seed's the difference between the Heat and the Hornets.
Is it? I thought it was going to be the Heat and the Celtics. Let
I
me
think
check
that,
these standings again. Did they update? I got to refresh. It was so fun. I kept refreshing last night till I saw the Lakers in seventh.
but yeah, I
Um,
mean,
yeah, I see your point. So right now, Miami is sixth at 36 and 31. Boston seventh at 35 and 32, and the Hornets are actually eight at 33 and 34. So yeah, I don't know how much they're going to really care about that 3 seed. But I think you're right, though. They do need to get a win, right? I mean, everything seems to be falling apart just for the confidence of the team. We should expect full effort. But, I mean, I didn't think effort was an issue in some of those losses.
yeah, I mean, I just think they're banged up right now. And I just think Jokic should be able to dominate this team tonight. I mean, we've seen Brooklyn have trouble with big men all year.
This
And I
is a big
mean,
lineup.
and
I mean, Porter.
on the other side, we just seen Bogdanovich go for 50.
Yeah,
Denver's had trouble with wings all year.
yeah,
Durant's the best wing in the league. I
yeah.
think you bet Jokic's points prop and Durant's points prop, and you don't even look at a side or total in this game.
All right, I love it. I like Denver here. Denver, I'll just keep going to the well with this team. They're a big team. You talked about Jokic. What about Porter? Who's going to guard Porter?
That's probably Durant's duty. They're built the same.
That's tiring. That's tiring. And Porter's a big boy. He's a big boy for Durant to be guarding him. Aaron Gordon should have a nice matchup here. I really like Denver to use their size advantage. At the same time, Let's look at the backcourt. That's as heavy as the size advantage is for the Nuggets, right? Wouldn't you say it's the same there for the
Yep.
Nets in the backcourt? I mean,
I
who's
mean,
going to cover
yeah,
Kyrie?
Kyrie's gonna have a field day,
Yeah.
but I mean, still missing Harden, I think, is big for this team. Like
Oh, it's huge.
you don't have that second guard. I
Yeah,
mean, Joe
it's
Harris isn't
huge.
your second guard to go to.
You're not a big Landry Shamet guy.
No, I mean he could give you 25 in a night, but the next night he might give you three.
Yeah. Total 232. We just talked about a bunch of guys we expect to go off. Does that mean we like the over?
Yeah, but I think that number is a little high for a Denver game. I mean, we know
For a
Denver likes to
Denver game,
slow it,
right?
yeah, to slow it down.
Yeah.
So I'd probably lean under.
Lean under there, huh? Okay. So we'll have a bunch of guys going over their points prop. So you're basically just saying we're not going to get any scoring from the bench players, right?
Yeah, I mean, 28 and a half and 26 and a half. The game can end 112, 113, and they both go over and it stays under.
Good point. Good point. All right. I like the Nuggets. Tyler likes the player props on who did you like? Just take Durant and Jokic.
Jokic and Durant.
Would you stack this game in DFS with those two?
I'd probably have a lineup doing that. I'm not sure of the prices and how
I
that
think
all
I'd
fits
rather have a
in.
Westbrook Sabonis stack. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, that stack's better, but
I
that's going
think
to
that's
cost you a
better.
lot more.
Think it'll be that much more?
I think Westbrook's going to be close to 11, if I had to guess.
Jokic is usually 10-5. Let me see what Jokic is at today.
And Sabonis has got to be up there too because he's almost posted triple doubles in like his last 3 games.
Yeah, on DraftKings, Jokic is 10-9 too, so it'll probably be about the same. So, all right. That will be a lot of fun. I like Denver there. We'll get back to this because we don't have that many games, so that's a potential for a best bet here. The Golden State Warriors host the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Warriors won by what they win by 21 when these teams played on Thursday. It's a rematch. Is there any reason to think that anything will be better for this poor tanking Thunder team?
No, I mean, if you want to bet something in this game, just take the minus 14. I think so. I mean, we know Golden State's fighting for their playoff lives. They're going to be in the playing game. They want to move maybe a seed or two up to where they only have need one win. So, I mean, yeah, give me Golden State here.
Warriors Lakers play-in. What are the ratings for that? They got to be fantastic, right?
Oh yeah, that'll be good.
I would think. I mean, to me, that would be like if I could. I mean, I'd rather watch that one game than the whole Saturday of the game ones.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Right? I mean, that's the game you got to see. Curry versus LeBron in a one game like winner take all situation. Give that to me. All right, I'm with you here. I don't see how you can take the Oklahoma City Thunder. Before I was kind of riding the Dort train, like if Dort plays, you can take the Thunder. Hey, that didn't work out for you. He was only 3 of 13 in that last game. So I don't know. I don't really see how you can get involved here with Oklahoma City. That being said, do you even think that it's that sharp to take Golden State here?
I don't think it's sharp, but I think if you wanted to bet in this game, that's the only thing you can play.
Yeah, I think this is really easy to stay away from. I mean, winning by 12 and being comfortably ahead the whole time is
Yeah.
that plausible?
You have scenarios like that happening. Same thing
Yeah.
with the next game we're going to talk about.
Yeah, you carry a 16-point lead. Curry goes out with 5 minutes to go, and then they end up winning the last 5 minutes by 4. That's not that plausible. So, yeah, you forced me down. If someone's parlaying every single game in there, throw Golden State in there. But I think there's nothing wrong with passing that game. Any props in that game, Tyler? Is there any guys on either of those teams that you've been looking at and cashing with lately?
I mean, not really. I mean, Steph's number is just so high now. It's like 35 and a half. I
It
hate
has
playing
to be,
numbers
right?
that high.
Yeah.
And I mean, on the other side, there's just nothing I want to touch.
Do you think Steph will end up with the scoring championship over Beal? They've been neck and neck.
I'd have to see their averages and see like who's above who, but it's gonna be close.
I think they're like 0.3 apart right now. I think Steph's up by like 0.3 points right now.
He'll probably win it then, because then Beal would have to have like a big game to jump up over him statistically. So
Yeah, but the thing is, the Wizards put up like 150 like almost every night, so it's pretty easy for Beal to get in the 30s and the 40s. So that'll be something to keep an eye on. Let's talk about the San Antonio Spurs, another team that's disappointed me recently. You know what, Tyler? As I'm going through this lineup, and I had a bad, rough couple days. I'm just looking at a bunch of teams that disappointed me. When San Antonio disappointed me, it was against the Jazz. Um, we thought that they would hang close and +7 there, and they got smoked. They were able to jump back. They were able to eliminate the Sacramento Kings from playoff contention. That was last night. And now the Kings have the longest running futility streak of not making the playoffs in Northern California. They're tied with the 70s Clippers or something for 15 seasons in a row. So congratulations to my hometown of Sacramento for making the record books. But now San Antonio heads to Portland to take on the Trailblazers, who got the win. They weren't able to get the cover. But if you're Portland, you don't feel bad about it at all. They were ahead pretty much most of the game. It felt like a cover game. They were in complete control. They get the win and the tiebreaker over the Lakers. The bad part about that is if they would have been playing for the cover, they would have extended their lead. They wouldn't have had so many minutes for their stars last night. Is that a concern for you, Tyler? And how are you looking at this game?
I mean, this game, I kind of lean Portland. I
Uh,
just don't. I don't want to back that Spurs team. I just don't think they care at this point.
I mean, they cared
Nor,
last night when they put the smack down on the Kings.
yeah, but that's the Kings, Fred. I mean, everyone puts the smackdown on them except for Dallas.
I know. They're like the jobbers of the NBA, right? They just come in there, they lose in 2 minutes, and
Yeah,
then
and we're not going to see
get
Portland
kicked
give
out of
up
the
a
league.
hiccup game right here after breaking that tiebreaker. So
Yeah. The
I think they
question is,
win
do they
it.
win by 6 or do they screw around like they did last night and only win by 5?
I mean, I think there's a good chance they do screw around and only win by 5. But I mean, which guard's going to guard Lillard for the Spurs team? Murray? Like, it's not happening. Lonnie Walker?
I
Not
mean, nobody
happening.
guards Lillard, though, right?
Yeah, so he should have another big game. Powell should have a nice game. So I like Portland here.
All right. Portland -6. The total, 232.5. What are you thinking, Tyler?
Probably lean over because I just don't think Portland puts much defense on the floor tonight. After that effort they gave out last night, you'll probably get a higher tempo game here.
All right. I don't hate that at all. Portland, of course, Damian Lillard tweeted, "Are we going to be the only team without fans in this whole season?" Very next game, Portland gets some fans. Hey, Tyler, do you wish your tweets had that type of power?
Yeah, I mean, some people have that say in the world.
All right. Well, congratulations to Damian Lillard for getting some fans in there, and all the people down in Portland that had a great time out last night watching their team put the Lakers in the play-in. You know, poor LeBron. Hopefully they don't have to do the play-in in Space Jam 2. Houston Rockets, 16-51 and 23-44 against the spread. Head to Utah to take on the Jazz. Tyler, this is only 15. I think it should be 19. Should I bet it, or is this just a complete waste of time to get involved with?
I mean, Kevin Porter out. I see questionable. You got to like sort through the list to find his name.
Are you down for some Kevin Porter Jr. minutes?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's a ball player. I think he's
He's
very good.
awesome. Yeah.
But I mean, he's out. Give me Utah minus a 15. Now he's in. He's a bucket getter. He can keep this game within 15. We could see a game late where they're up 20 and he's still on the floor and he's still pouring in threes to where they win by 12. So I need to
All
know if
right.
he's in or out.
All right. And of course, that might not come until later today. So keep your eyes on the news. Remember, there's nothing wrong with avoiding a lot of these games. Tyler, we got like what? 8 days left in the season.
Yep.
And the playoffs start on the 22nd. Today's the 8th. 14 days away from the playoffs, Tyler. So 2 Saturdays from now, we're going to be breaking down some round one matchups. Anything that you see or that you expect for the rest of the season here? Like, how do you see these like what matchups do you think we'll be seeing playing out 2 weeks from now on this time?
I think that Nets Heat matchup intrigues me in the first round if the seeding stays the same. Because you have the Nets at the 3 and the Heat at the 6 right now.
Wouldn't that be a terrible matchup for Brooklyn?
I
Of all
think
the
so.
teams in the first round, right?
Yeah,
I'd
that
rather
could be
play
a tough first
Boston
round
or of
series.
course Charlotte, but yeah.
I think Milwaukee probably draws Charlotte. Or
And
maybe even
they
Philly
crush
does.
them. I mean, that's not even
Yeah.
going to be close, right? Philly would play probably like in.
Well, you got to. I think you have to factor in Washington here because I think they steal a spot.
If they steal a spot though, they can only steal the 8.
Oh, so they would have to play Philly, which means
There's no way they could be
Embiid's
7.
going for 60 and 25 every night.
That's too bad for Washington. That's the worst matchup out of all of them.
Yep.
I think they would give Milwaukee. I don't think they'll beat any of them, but I think they could scare Milwaukee or Brooklyn a lot more than they could scare Philly.
I think I agree with that.
Do you
Philly's
think?
just
Oh, go ahead.
they're just too big inside. You won't be able to score inside, and they have no one to check Embiid.
Do you think the Lakers crawl out of this play-in spot?
I mean, I want to say yeah, but we don't know how healthy them guys are. And they could walk into the playing game. LeBron's out by the third quarter because his ankle hurts, and then it's Anthony Davis versus the Warriors. So
Yeah.
who knows?
So look at what they've got left. I think they play Phoenix tomorrow night. That's going to be a tough game. Of course, Phoenix should be motivated to win. Then they're going to host New York. Tyler, we've been a little disappointed. Do you think the Knicks will be able to beat the Lakers in a couple nights? That'll be on Tuesday, I think.
I mean, I hope so. I've got to wait and see that injury report, see who's all in and out.
Yeah.
But
But see, then the Lakers should win their last 3. They're going to finish off with Houston. They'll travel to Indiana. I think they can get it done there. And then they travel to New Orleans. But at that point, New Orleans is going to have nothing to play for. So,
and they're missing tons of guys. Ingram's out indefinitely. Zion's done. So
yeah, wasn't that
they're
just too
calling
bad?
it in.
Yeah. So I think they might be able to go out, which is why I think that it's important for the Blazers to win tonight, because the Blazers want to stay ahead. Because I think it'd be pretty easy to assume the Lakers can finish 3-2, maybe 4-1. So Portland's got to be feeling the same way, and they need to have that same type of goal on them. So we will see how that turns out. Obviously, San Antonio gets a nice win last night against the Kings there to keep their playoff hopes alive. So I think our guys in the chat, Gregory Russo, he's in the chat. He hates the Lakers, but he loves the best bets. Tyler, it's time. Best bet, side total or prop for Saturday, May 8th.
I'm staying on the train. Give me Washington minus the 3.5.
I love it. I love it. You know what, Tyler? I stepped in front of the train, and you know what I learned? Get off the tracks. That train's coming hard and fast, and I'm staying away from that one. I'm with you there. I am placing that bet. Now I need to choose my play. Oh, crap, Tyler. It's 10:28. Do you want to wait 2 more minutes? I would hate to give out a play right now, and then someone watches the video later and the number's completely obliterated.
Yeah, I mean, we can. We only
Yeah,
got
let's
1
wait
minute.
2 more minutes for that one thing to go. Let's see. I'll ask you one more question here about the NBA, the Western Conference here. If we end up getting wow, we could get Clippers Lakers in the first round. How do you think a Denver Dallas series would go?
That's a tough one. I mean, Luka should be able to eat them alive. I think that one, Porzingis is back. Dallas can give them a run for their money.
Yeah,
I think
don't
Dallas's
like
biggest
Dallas
issue is if they run into the Clippers in the first round.
One thing I'll say for Dallas is they seem to be getting hot at the right time, right? Tim Hardaway Jr., right? I've been running him down all year. This last couple weeks, he's been the player that we were expecting from him, and the player that actually outperformed his contract that the Knicks were trying to dump last year. Jalen Brunson, we've been high on him all year. Josh Richardson's still been a disappointment for this team, but yeah, that should be an interesting, fun series. All right, it's 10:30. Let me refresh my bookmaker. Let's see what got pulled off the board. Are you getting any injury news, Tyler?
No, that was just Kentucky's wide receiver coach got arrested.
All right, Tyler, it's 10:30. Nothing got pulled off the board. I don't know what to make of this. What's going on in the NBA?
I don't see any injuries coming through.
Unbelievable. Everybody's staying healthy.
Nope, there it is. Joel Embiid, questionable.
I knew it. So that one go off the board. So we knew that. We knew that that was a trap. When they put it the same line as the Pelicans, we knew. Yep. Only one game goes off the board. I'll take that as a win. All right, let's go. What I'm looking for. You already gave out the Wizards. I can't complain there. I like fading the Raptors. 5.5 seems a little steep on the road though, but I do like the Grizzlies there. I like the Nuggets catching points at home. I mean, gosh, do I go back to the well after they disappointed me last night? We talked about the Warriors game that we don't want to get involved. I do like the Blazers at -6, and we also talked about needing for that Kevin Porter news. So I think the game that I feel safest giving out the play on right now, I'm going to go ahead and take the Nuggets again. I took the points with them last night. They disappointed. I'm going to take the points again tonight and hope they can come through with me. Tyler, what do you think of that play?
Yeah, I like that play.
All right. So
They
it's
we
go
got
ahead.
more injury news.
All right, what you got for me?
Philly might be sitting everybody.
I
Embiid
knew it.
questionable, Simmons
That line,
questionable,
yeah, that line told
Curry
you right.
questionable.
And do you think it's because they are safely in the number one seeding position?
It could be. I think it's more of the fact that they played last night.
Yeah, and they're 46-21. Milwaukee 43-24. 3 games behind with 6 to go. There's a great chance. First of all the teams we talked about, they only care about going in healthy, right? So, I mean, other than the Jazz and the Suns, does anyone care about their seeding? So that doesn't surprise me at all. And two, they could possibly win this game. Wouldn't you agree? Even sitting all those guys?
Yeah, I mean, Detroit's bad, so they
Yeah,
should be able to win this game.
yeah. So, all right, but we're going to stay off that game. We just gave you out a little 2-pack today. I think they're actually a couple good picks, though, Tyler. I like our picks here. We're laying 3.5 with the Wizards. We're taking 3.5 with the Nuggets. You know, I'm gonna throw a little parlay in with them too. I feel good about our picks, Tyler. Um, I love it. Do you have any more props or anything that you want to give out to anyone before we get out of here?
Not right now. I'm going to dig into some more numbers. I'll put one out on Twitter for everybody.
All right, and we always love that on Twitter. We got a lot of stuff going on at Run Pure Bets. Jay will be live for the members, for the Run Pure members. He'll be hanging out watching the fights tonight, and I hung out with him on Thursday night, and he's excited from this card for betting perspective. He thinks he has identified some great betting spots, and I'm sure he'll find a couple more live too. Then they will also be doing the NASCAR tomorrow, which has probably been the most profitable thing here going at Run Pure right now. It's got to be either the NASCAR or Snyder's golf picks, right?
Yep.
I mean,
I mean,
both of them.
Snyder's golf picks is just like you need 2 of them, and that's like 100
Yeah.
units.
Yeah, so maybe that's it, but they're definitely in the running. Tyler and I are trying to catch up 1 unit at a time, breaking down these games, going through the pain of the injury scratches, the missed free throws, the BS 3-pointers at the end of the game, the lack of effort on defense. That's right. Tyler and I have endured it all just for you guys. And why did we do it? Because we love the NBA playoffs and we are going to be ready. We're not going to be just jamming a bunch of information in, trying to figure out what happened in the regular season. We lived it. We endured it. I don't know about blood and sweat, but it felt like there were some tears in here, Tyler. It felt like there were some tears,
There was
especially.
definitely some blood in there too.
But hey, it's been a lot of fun. We're making the best of it. And you guys that have been with us, you guys know this is a tough league to cap. And just like the game itself, there's runs. Like you get hot, you can't miss. Heat check, right? You're throwing up plus 230 money lines, heat check. Same deal here with the NBA. So we appreciate you guys rocking with us. If you're not already a member and you do want to hang out at Keg Live, you do want access to the picks, you do want access to the plays, you do want access to the Discord and all the knowledgeable Run Pure members where you can bounce ideas off there. Even Tyler and I aren't there. Everyone's in there talking about different plays, different props, sharing what they're seeing. It's like we got eyes on almost every game. You go to the Discord. I might be watching the Kings. Tyler's watching the Knicks. I don't know why I'm even watching the Kings. What am I doing to myself? But that's what we got going on. Head on over to runbeerbets.com. Promo code BETS25 off. Become a member. Hang out with the keg and cash some winners. So, Tyler, you got anything more for us before we get out of here?
Nope, that's it. We're just waiting
All
on these
right.
games to start, and let's cash these tickets.
Yeah, it should be fun. I'll be having some fun this afternoon. A little scrimmage game. I'm gonna go watch, and then for the kids baseball, and then I'll be able to get home and watch some NBA this evening. Really looking forward to it. Definitely expecting to bounce back this evening. We'll be back on Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern. I'll have Hoop with me, and then it should be the regular schedule. With all the guests that we usually run for the last week of the season. And I'll tell you what, I can't wait, guys. We're going to knock out this last week. Should be fun identifying the spots because there will be games that have a lot of ramifications, and we won't have to cap the motivation. Get us ready for the playoffs. So we're real excited about that. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. If you liked it, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. We'll be back on Monday. Run Pure.